Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Dive In podcast, where we talk about diversity and inclusion. Y'all know me. I'm DNA Vega, an animation major, and this is my senior year. Today we have.
Hello, I'm Anjoliana Mogollon. I am a psychology major, and this is my junior year. I'm also the president of the Get Psyched Club on campus, and I work here in the Justice Center.
Yeah, both of us work together. How do you feel about that?
It's a lot of fun. I like messing with you, so.
Yeah, don't worry, me too. Just hanging out in the office, doing
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
You'll mostly see me eating because it's the only time I'll have time to eat.
Watching you eat your cinnamon rolls.
Yeah, I had a cinnamon roll earlier today, so you got a good mukbang out of me. All
Yeah, that
right.
was good.
I have a couple questions for you today.
Hmm.
You ready?
Oh, yeah, I'm
All right.
ready.
My first question is, what are some challenges of being a student?
Um, so being a student for me is a little different because I'm visually impaired. I lost my vision when I was 11. It happened quite rapidly, actually. So I had 20/20 vision, like growing up, all the way until I was 11, and then I was diagnosed with something called pseudotumor cerebri, and it basically killed off my optic nerves. So I can't have corrective lenses or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that has honestly and obviously affected my life, drastically. So being a student is probably a bit different. I mean, I love being a student. I love learning, but I'm I access my education a bit differently than people do across campus. And um, as for me, like I am a very big auditory learner, but I love like building relationships with my professors because it definitely like creates a stronger bond because I have to problem solve with them. So yeah, I don't know. I really like it. I love being a student here.
Well, I'm good to hear. Good. It's blah 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 blah. It's good to hear that you have a good time here at
Mhm.
USF. Is there like things you would um, have more challenges in? Um, Probably like, for example, lecture. I know like a lot of professors usually
Mhm.
have their presentations
Yeah.
explaining through whatever it's being taught. Are there like, for example, any kind of challenges like those?
Um, for me, the challenges I've experienced most is like lab based work. So
Oh,
like
okay.
being in like science classrooms and having to do lab based. It's not that easy when they ask you to uh see how much is in a graduated cylinder, and I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
how effective is that? So, but lectures is probably my favorite style simply because they get up there and they just talk for forever. And I mean, yes, they do have a visual aid, but I think that's more for the visual learners. So usually, well, in a psychology classroom, I can't speak on all classrooms, but
Mm-hmm.
in a psychology classroom, they are very much speaking about what's up on
Oh,
the screen,
okay.
anyways. So it's not very different for me in that aspect. But like when it comes to like note taking and stuff, uh, most people like just pull out a paper and pen, and I am not that. I usually sit in the classroom and try to absorb as much as I can, and then afterwards, go back to my dorm room or wherever and try and take down notes of what I remember because it's not effective for me to struggle
Yeah.
through taking notes and then
Yeah.
or, and continue to listen to the professor. So that's a bit different, but yeah, I don't really struggle with lecture. It's mainly science, but I don't have any more science classes, so
Oh, that's good.
yeah. So
Do,
I'm good there.
do you occasionally like record the lectures or anything like that?
Yeah, I will record lectures. I don't do it very often because I feel like it's really awkward to listen back on it.
Yeah.
But I will like if I know it's like a very important thing or like something where it's going to follow up. So like if we have like 3-day lectures, we're talking about the same thing, then I'll record the first and second day so I know what we're talking about by the third day. And so, yeah, I sometimes do, but not all the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Our other question is, where do you want to be in 5 years?
In 5 years,
I know, long way.
I know, I don't even know where I'm going to be tomorrow. Um, 5 years, I imagine myself probably finishing up grad school. Uh, because I'm a psychology major, we don't do a lot with a bachelor's degree.
um,
But yeah, I'm planning to go get my PsyD. I'm not sure what grad school I'm planning to go to, but I will be in the midst of grad school, probably working on some sort of thesis statement or something along those lines. But I hope to be out of Indiana. I was born and raised here. I love it here, but I don't want to be here anymore.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask you, do you really like Indiana?
I like it because my family's here, but yeah, I want to be somewhere like on the coast, on the east or west coast, but probably the east since the west coast is disappearing slowly.
Oh.
But yeah, I'll be in grad school somewhere. That's where I see myself in 5 years.
Do you have any idea of what grad school do you want to go to, or not yet?
Not yet. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I'm really like torn on where I want to like what grad school, what area of the
Oh
country I
yeah.
want to look at. So
Do you have like ideas, just out of curiosity?
not really.
Not
No,
now.
no.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah,
You still have like what, around 2 years?
yeah,
You're like very new to the junior. It's only
right.
been a month, that school started, so you still have time.
Yeah,
No need to worry.
and this
For
is the time to start looking. So
Yeah,
yeah,
for
I
me,
mean, that means I would have to decide what I want to do with my life, and I have not figured that one out either. Like I don't know specifically what career path I want to take. So I know I want to get a PsyD in grad school. That's about it. But I don't know like what career path I'm headed towards yet.
it's
So
great. At least you have a goal where you want to go.
yeah,
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 you'll figure out the rest of the steps to get to that goal pretty soon. I believe
right,
in you.
yeah.
What have you learned being at USF?
Um, being at USF, I think I learned that people are important. Um, to learn like to network and learn to create connections with people. I think that has probably been the biggest thing that I've learned because coming into USF like probably freshman year, I was very much like I'm gonna find one of my people or like one best friend and that'll be it. And the more that I started to like get involved and across campus and through the program and everything, I I started to learn that it's important to have a group of people, because it's important one for you to be that person for another person, so like to be the person that other people can come to. I feel like has like that's been very important in my life, but also to know that like when you're going through something difficult that you have all these people behind you and supporting you, because for a really long time I kind of have put myself in situations where it's just like me and my best friend or me and my family. And so I definitely feel like through these past few years learning that it's important to continue to foster those relationships and network with those people because they are what's going to continue to push you and be your backbone. And so yeah, I don't know, I think I just have learned to like sprout out a bit more and acknowledge that it's okay to have people around you that are important to you and not just one person.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's pretty great. It's like
Yeah.
here, I feel like USF is a pretty good place to build a community and have a group of people to always uh, come with the same, like go along with the same road as you.
Right.
And so I'm happy that you get a chance to experience that. Um, are you excited for the next 2 years? What will happen next, and see how your connectivity will happen?
I
Or
I am excited. Um I recently, like just over the summer, I got the orientation and welcome leader position,
yeah,
and so I got to learn a lot or like meet a lot of new people, and I feel like I like kind of flourished in like being a little more outgoing and like being willing to just walk up to random strangers and just ask how their day is. And so I'm excited to see where that takes me because I feel like even in, these past couple months I've been able to build a little more of a community where people get to know me and, I can be there for them. And so I'm excited to see how that will take me in the next couple years. But I'm also sad because then I have to eventually leave these people.
I know. It's the same thing for me. I'm like, hey, I've been an RA for like basically this is my third year,
Mhm.
and I was able to learn because I was very introverted. I did not like the idea of talking to people
Right.
or anything like that. But being part of the student leadership group gave
Mhm.
me an opportunity to actually go out there, become more extroverted, and get to meet new people basically.
Yeah.
And so I feel like it's a good way to learn how to come out of your shell, present yourself more out there too.
Yeah, yeah. And like you can just like, I feel like we forget that people are actually wanting social interaction.
Yeah.
Like, because for so long you're just like, oh no, I'm not gonna bother them. They're doing like schoolwork, or and then you kind of forget that that actually could make someone's day or could make them feel better if you just sit down and you're just like, hi, because people want that. Like it's a natural instinct to want social interaction, and so I think we like get in our heads a lot about it, and I feel like being in the student leadership program a little more like actively has like taught me that is that we all just really want to just sit down and hang out with each other, like that's really it. And so I don't know, I'm excited to see like how that revelation for me will turn out in the future. I mean, because I mean yes, here at USF, but in my life, you know,
Yeah.
through all.
Hopefully, with those skills that you were able to develop, I'm pretty sure that you can still build a community with you, the, along the way how you grow as a person, and also can help you throughout your, I guess, career.
Right. Yeah.
So, quick question,
Mm-hmm.
for psychology,
Mm-hmm.
how is that like? Because I'm an art student,
Yeah.
and so of course my education is different from yours.
Mm-hmm. um Psychology is a very hypothetical science. Or theoretical probably is a better word. I mean, since it's so new, we are kind of like, we sit in class and they're like, so they think this might be going on, but we're not like sure. And so, because a lot of our lectures are like that, or there's this theory, but we're not 100% sure about it. And so it's very much, we learn as we go kind of thing. And, you know, we see how it evolves. And because, I mean, we're studying the mind, we're studying, you know, human behavior. It is so, what's the word? It's so unpredictable, you know? Like people can just be so unpredictable. And so it's really, it's kind of just like you kind of go as you learn as you go, and you see where it takes you, and you know, you can run with one thought process or run with the other. So I don't know, I think that it kind of like really stretches your mind, and like you're sitting in the lecture and you're like, I have no idea what this professor is saying to me. And then one day it clicks, and then you like start coming up with all these ideas and all these thoughts and all these, you know, what ifs and stuff like that. So I definitely have had like a lot of like classes, and I'm walking out with my friends and I'm like, but what if you think about it this way, or if you think about it that way? So it's a very much like you get to make it your own, and you get to see like, you know, you just get to run with things. But other than that, like in a more technical term, it's a very lecture based, and it's very written. We write, I think at one point I counted that I wrote 12 assignments in like a week.
Oh.
Yeah, so we write a lot because I mean we don't have statistics to back us up. I mean, to a certain degree we do, but like it's very much like theoretical and like applying theories and, you know, techniques and strategies like that. So we write a lot of stuff. And so yeah, I mean, the class load is probably a little less artistic like on your side, but
Yeah.
I do feel like it is some sort of art because we get to like, you know,
Study
stretch
the
it.
brain and
Yeah.
understand the structure of it.
Yeah.
How does it work? I feel it's like other degrees that's offered here at USF are interesting as well.
Mhm.
I understand what's going on in the art world.
Mhm.
Like it's a lot of thinking. A lot of people don't think that it's just where you paint something and that's it. But
Right.
there's more to it depending on what I guess career as an artist you want to go. Like graphic design, they have to think about what will attract a person's eye to it, what
Yeah.
will be appealing to them, what can like make them feel. It's a lot of emotions. Like it can be also be linked to like psychology,
Yeah.
even how we can influence people through art and how to feel a certain way and how to attract them.
Yeah.
And for me in animation, it's a lot of storytelling. How can we tell a story? What's the best way to tell a story?
Right.
Who's telling them? Who's being represented? What is their actions? And what is like, why did they do it? Why is this story going along in the way it is? And it's like also a lot of design process. Like, hey, does the colors look right? Does the colors match together? Is it too bright,
Mhm.
too
Mhm.
dark? Are the lines, are they too thick, too thin? Are they squiggly? Are they straight?
Right.
It's a lot of thinking, and so I feel like people don't appreciate at least some of the or like some of the majors offered here at USF. I know a lot of students come in here for the nursing program
Mhm.
here, and a lot of people praise the nursing student, which is, yeah, a very hard major to go through because it's like a lot of things going on. But still, like psychology is like one of the things that's very fascinating because you're studying how the brain thinks.
Right.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a
That's really,
psychology major.
yeah, it's honestly how the brain thinks, which
Yeah.
is kind of crazy. Like, why does the brain do what it does? But yeah, I think that honestly, I mean, you said that, and I think that psychology plays a part in every major that's
Hmm.
probably on campus. I mean, you were talking about like colors, and we all know that there's psychology rooted in colors and the way that your brain reacts to red or blue or like eye tracking and what draws the eye quicker to, so I think that there's psychology in almost every major, and I think that like I'm not saying that we are like the root or like the base or you guys wouldn't be here without us, but
I mean,
we
I'll consider it because you're like the brain. Everything that it's like presented here or any object is went was like a process through someone's brain.
right. Yeah. But I do think that we are the psychology, not we specifically, but like psychology in general should be something that is taught across majors because I mean, like you said, we all take part in it in our daily lives and even within our careers it would be good to have an education about
Yeah.
no matter what the
I feel
career
like it
is.
would be fun to like give a chance for our students to go into like some kind of psychology,
Hmm.
but closely related to that to their majors. For
Right.
example, I would love a course that's psychology for more with artists
Yeah.
because I don't think I'll like to go into like the more technical
Yeah.
and I don't know, all the words or I don't know, I can't think of any of those big terms or
Hmm.
like how things work. I feel like I'll do better if it's like how does the brain think with these colors? Because I love color theory. I don't
Yeah.
know if you know anything about color theory,
Hmm.
but I absolutely love color theory. It's a lot of like combinations, patterns, um, the brightness, the darkness,
Hmm.
all of that. And I like the idea of like studying how does the brain react to
Yeah.
colors.
Yeah.
Because I know I don't look like it because I wear a lot of black, but for like myself, I like muted colors.
Yes.
But each person is different, and so some people are attracted to more vibrant colors
Hmm.
compared to others.
Yeah. I i can't blame you for wearing a lot of black. If you look in my closet, this is probably the brightest thing I have in my closet, first off, but if you look in my closet, it's very much like neutral colors because I'm also colorblind, and so like I see in grayscale unless it's like about 3 feet away from me, then I start to see color. But yeah, I have a lot of neutral colors, and I think it's fascinating, like that, because it wasn't like an actual thought process where I was like, I should just get neutral colors. It was more of like, that's what my brain started like adapting to or like going towards because I knew that I could match it easily, with different things. And so I think it's fascinating that like your brain quickly adapts to that type of stuff as well. I mean, and mine did just in colors, like where I wake up in the morning and have to put on an outfit, then I know that I will put something together that will be functional and I don't wear blues and purples or something like that. So yeah.
That's interesting.
Mhm.
Is there like another way that your body has adapted um, since you're visually impaired?
Mhm. Um I definitely think that my body has adapted in navigating spaces. My mom says like ever since I went by and she's like, you definitely fool people because if you were just walking down a hallway, they would not have a clue that you're blind. Um because I feel like I kind of just and I don't it's not like a thought process that I go through. It is literally like subconscious or something like that because I will come in and it's like my brain just like orients myself and then I am able to navigate it pretty effectively. You will see me sometimes like run into things, which is like just a blind girl thing, but I feel like my body has adapted very quickly to figuring out how to orient myself to places. But other than that, adaption wise, or like the way that my body has evolved, I listen a lot more. And but like now I've gotten to the point where I don't realize that I do it because, I'm going on like almost 10 years of being blind. And so I don't realize that I am listening all the time, but I am listening to everything, even when I don't want to.
Oh,
Like,
I am so sorry for you here,
yeah.
though.
Yeah, I'll sit in the office and I'm like, I wonder if the boys know that I'm listening to what they're saying. But it's not like I'm eavesdropping because I don't care what they have to say. It's just
Yeah.
that it's happening. So yeah, that's a pretty common thing for me, and kind of just social cues in general. I pick up on that a lot because like I can't see body language or facial expressions, and so I feel like I am able to read a room a little better because I just kind of understand like the energy of like, well, then you're getting into like spiritual, but like I feel like everybody kind of gives off an energy,
Hmm.
and I feel like I have been able to pick up on that a little more because I'm not able to use my vision to understand how people are feeling. So yeah, I think that I've adapted to that a bit more. But that's been kind of a newer revelation for me because I'm becoming to be more social. So I feel like um, the more social I am, the more I'm able to understand how people are acting or feeling,
Yeah.
even if I can't see them. So yeah.
Do you also rely on like how when someone's speaking to you, do you rely on the way they pronounce things or how their tone is?
Mhm. Yeah. I think that a lot of people don't realize the importance of the way that they speak because when I rely on it to genuinely understand a person, and um some people, may say something in like a nasty tone but not mean it nastily, or something like that. And so then I'm like, "Oh, they must not like me," or "Oh, they you must be having a bad day." But in all actuality, they probably just don't realize that the way that they spoke let off that energy, or like their like fluctuation in their voice led me to believe that they were upset with me. And so I think that yeah, I think that people don't realize, or just don't think about the fact that the way that they speak can affect not only me but just in conversations in general, can affect the way that a conversation leads. But yeah, I do rely on like listening to people a lot, and just like the small things, not even like the words that they're speaking, but the way that they're speaking the words.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I think I have one final question for you. I
Okay.
feel like we kept on it in
Yeah.
the conversation, but that's perfectly
Uh-huh.
fine. And so our last question is, I know that you've recently moved to the halls.
Hmm.
Is it this year? Is your first time?
Yes.
Okay, because I remember last year you would I heard you talking when I'm like not doing much, not to
Hmm.
eavesdrop or anything, but I remember you mentioning going back home and all that, and then this year me seeing you and Claire.
Hmm.
Sadly you're not on my
I
floor.
wish I was, but I do love
Oh.
Ashley and Kinsey, so.
Oh, okay, okay, I see how it is. You could be with me in Madison, but okay. Um, what are some like changes that you have to do? Um, Living here, because I know that I understand if being back home, you
Mm.
know how your life is, how the people are there, and then your setup, how things are set up in your home. Did you have to do any changes coming here, living here,
Mhm.
or any, I don't know, anything to help you to navigate?
Um, well, I can say that when I first moved in, I had my family walk me around campus because I know campus on that side, because
Mm-hmm.
I, go to JP2, Dormer, and Ackett's. Like, I know that side of campus, but I, did not really venture over this way very often. The farthest I really got was this office for the first 2 years of being here. And so when I first moved in, I had my whole family, like my sisters and my mom, walk around campus with me and help orient myself to where I was on campus because yeah, I didn't even know like where the res halls were for the
Yeah.
first 2 years of my school here. So that was definitely something. But other than that, I've kind of just had to realize that like it's okay to fail. Like it's okay to just like stumble your way through it. The one thing that I have had to learn, or like that's been a challenge, is the dining hall.
Oh
because it's
yeah.
self-serve. And so so I that's been a new thing that I kind of just like stumble my way through it and see, where I end up. Um but it's different. Like I've had to adjust from being home to here is like I everything that I do, everything that I say, everything like all of my actions are for me specifically. Like I don't go home to my family and they don't like they're not working with me because for so long it was like I never left my house without somebody. And
Mm-hmm.
so I mean obviously I can't drive, so I never left my house without someone, but when I'm here it's only me. And so everything that I'm doing is just me. Like I don't have another person like a sidekick or anything like that. So that's been something that's like been different. Like but, I mean it's not bad and it's not good. It's just like it's something new.
Yeah.
But I don't think that I've had like navigation wise or um like blind girl wise. I don't think I've had like any like big like whoa this is weird like moments. The only thing that I think is probably the weirdest is that people say hi to me all the time
Oh yeah.
and I don't know who they are.
No,
Cuz
yeah.
yeah, I'll walk by and they'll be like, "Hey Angelina," and I'm like, hi. Because I mean I don't get visual recognition or facial recognition or anything like that. So I mean for few people like I know their voices. Like you, when I see you I'm like, oh yeah, that's DNA because I know you and I've known you for a couple years now. So
Yeah.
but like my RAs like Ashley and Kinsey, I still have to ask who I'm talking to because they'll just like come up and talk to me and I'll be like, I'm sorry, who am I talking to again? And I'm like, I mean, I know you. Once you say
Yeah.
I'm Kinsey, I'm like, oh yeah, okay. But like, then I'm like, so that's different too, is people being so willing to just like chat with you. And then I'm like, I have no idea who I'm talking to because that's not a common thing for me.
Mm.
But yeah. Um,
Yeah, that's a very common thing in the residential
mm-hmm.
halls because I think everyone who it's basically living in the halls are coming from different places, and so they relying on that I guess human connection because
Yeah.
like no one else. It's very rare to see people from the same school coming together or coming from the same school but
Right.
not knowing each other.
Right.
Luckily, I got lucky, and someone who went to the same high school as me came to the same college, and we were living in the same hall. She was just down the hall,
Yeah.
and so I got lucky because I still had that, I guess, connection. Being with someone who I know and all that, and
Mm-hmm.
luckily for me, my roommate, we were able to grow to have a very strong friendship, so strong that they're my roommate today. Even though now
Wow.
I'm an RA,
Yeah.
RAs usually don't have roommates, but we became so emotionally attached to each other where they didn't want to leave because they don't like the idea of getting a new roommate and then facing the challenges of like, oh, what if we get into an argument? What
Yeah.
if we don't get along well and so and so? And I was
Right.
like, for me personally, since I like the idea of like having my own room, but it's very different compared to like being at Claire
Mm-hmm.
compared to being at home because at home your room is connected to a house
Yeah.
and a house having people there.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm like, I'm not gonna keep my door open for like strangers to walk up in there or like people I completely don't know. Yeah, like I
Yeah.
have my residents, but there's also other people who will come into the hall that I
Right.
don't know,
Right.
and so I didn't like the idea. And so I wanted them to be my roommate because I still wanted someone to be there with me
Mm-hmm.
if I'm like not feeling well, I'm upset, feeling tired, just having someone to I guess lift up my spirits
Yeah.
every day.
I think that's also I have a single and that's mainly because I don't know how I would live with another human in, my space because I keep things very particular. I mean, if
Mm-hmm.
if I can't remember where it's at, then it's gone forever. I'm never going to find that again. So I I requested a single and they, allowed it and I think that having a roommate would be good for me because, I do feel like there are times where I'm like, wow, I haven't talked to someone in like 28 hours. I should probably communicate with somebody. But other than that, I don't think that I would be able to put up with like the mental stress of having a roommate too because,
Yeah.
it makes me anxious like for things to move around and stuff like that. But no, I completely understand what you mean about like having it's weird because my room is my room. It's not connected to a house anymore. I can't go out and just like antagonize people. And because I mean, that's really what I was known for at home. I would just go out and just start wreaking havoc anywhere and everywhere. And so, yeah, it's definitely different. I like it. And I told my mom the other day, I was like, Mom, because she was like, so are you going to move back on campus next year? And I was like, I don't think I can move home again. I was like, I love my home and I love my family and I love because the one thing I really miss is my animals, and
Yeah.
I love it all, but I don't think that I would. I feel like I'd be walking backwards in life than moving forwards in life, and so I was like, I don't think I can move home. I think I'm gonna be stuck in my dorm until I move out of state, and so yeah. But I completely understand what you mean about like having a roommate because there are times where I'm like, it would be nice to just like talk to somebody right now, but
Hey, if you want to talk to someone, I'm like upstairs. Just shoot me a text or call me. I'll be walking right down. I have access to the floor, so
Mhm.
whenever you want me, I'll just swipe myself in and I'll welcome myself into your room.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right. One final question before we're done.
yeah.
What are some like changes that you wish that the USF or the school could do to help students who are visually impaired or disabled in a different
Hmm,
way?
hmm. Um, the only thing that like and I say this, I feel like I say this every time someone asks me this, not specifically with the school, but just in general, like, um, is just to educate yourselves about it. Because I've come across, I've definitely had my fair share of challenges being here. I've had professors who just will not accommodate me or you know have assumptions or preconceived notions about me already. And so, I've had my issues regarding that being here. But the only way that I really say, the only way that I can genuinely say how to fix it, because being disabled is a completely like it's a spectrum. So like even being blind is a spectrum. So like you can be visually impaired and still be able to drive and stuff like that, or you could be completely blind and it's just like complete darkness, which is not common, or is it's not as common as being visually impaired with still some sort of vision. Most I think there's a statistic, I feel like it's in like the 70s or something like that, where it says like 70% of people who are blind still have some sort of remaining vision, because the stereotypical thing is to assume that they just can't see anything at all. But don't quote me on that. I don't know
Okay.
the statistics specifically. But I think that the way I would answer this question for anybody is really just to be willing to ask questions and be willing to educate yourself and be willing to not know the answer. Like be humble enough to not know about, someone's disability, because so many people will be nervous to ask questions. And I mean, there are people who have disabilities and don't want to talk about it, and that's fine. But like, um, you should still be respectful, so still learn how to be respectful, even if they don't want to talk about the disability or, what they are capable or incapable of doing. And so I think that, I mean, for me specifically, I'll talk about it all the time. Like if anybody has a question, I'm completely willing to talk about it with someone. But yeah, I would just say educate, just be educated or educate yourself, or, ask the questions, or just be willing to understand that you don't know about it. And so, yeah, that's probably what I would say. And that's really more of a mindset. There's not really an easy answer. I would love to be like, well, make all PowerPoints accessible for, blind people, but that's not an easy answer because it is a spectrum. It's different for everybody. So, yeah.
Well, that's why I brought you here so that
Mm-hmm.
we can help educate some of the students here on like different people from not only from different cultures but also people who have disabilities or any like um can't think of words. Any other, I guess, difference compared to like other people,
Right.
or like talk about differences.
Right.
People, I don't know, like myself, like, hey, my life is not the same way as yours, how
Right.
you live yours.
Yeah.
And so I hope in this podcast to help educate others.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why it's called diversity and inclusion.
Yeah.
And so um, that's all my questions. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. I love you with all my heart, and you'll always be here with me. We work together, and I'm going to see you every day.
Mhm.
I'll try to visit try to visit you,
Oh, absolutely.
making sure you feel loved by me. I won't stalk you if you feel that way.
You poke your head around the corner. I'm like, there's DNA.
I'm like, hey, I'm gonna come bug you.
Yeah.
Um, keep an ear out for me just randomly knocking on your door.
Mhm. Yeah.
Anyways, so that's it. So goodbye, everyone. I hope you had a good time watching this episode with Angelina. I hope everyone has a good day. Bye.